Las Vegas, the mecca of entertainment, attracting millions annually to its gambling tables and slot machines. It's hosted many sporting events through the years, but all pale in comparison to this weekend. The Las Vegas 400 for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series will be the largest sporting event ever in the state of Nevada. And qualifying for it is coming up.
The show capital of the world is about to experience the biggest show in modern-day motorsports. Yeah, NASCAR. Winston Cup Racing has come to town. How big is it, fans? There's 107,000 hotel rooms in this city. It took just 4 hours to sell all 104,000 reserved seats. No basketball game, football game, or concert has ever sold out the town. That may happen this weekend. But to put it in perspective, this is how big tonight is. Last night, Elvis was signed on that glitzy strip. Word was he was standing in line for Dale Earnhardt's autograph.
In a city of big numbers, this is by far the most famous. 21. Hit it, you win. But play too cautiously, you'll lose. Too aggressively, and you're busted. In a desert barren of promise, Las Vegas is an oasis of potential, lit up by electricity and luck. You know, racing often comes down to a gamble, a roll of the dice, going against the odds. Throughout this city on Sunday, 21 will be a big winner. But the question is, what number will pay off here?
ESPN2 Speed World presents qualifying from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for Sunday's Las Vegas 400. Boy, there is excitement in the air everywhere around the Las Vegas area. Everybody excited about this race coming up Sunday. We're going to qualify here in the next few minutes and find out who the first pole sitter for this race is. Doesn't pay anything more, but I think there's a little more prestige associated with being the first at a racetrack.
Well, there certainly is. Rick Mast has four pole positions in his career. You probably think of two of them. After all, he stood on the pole last week. But all of you recognize he won the pole for the very first Brickyard 400. But now we come to the Las Vegas and win the pole. I think would be a neat trophy to put on the mantle, wouldn't it, Ned?
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it, because we are in Las Vegas. And being the first to do it at any new racetrack is very important. And Kenny Wallace, he's going to get in the record books here. He's going to be the very first car out to qualify, as H.B. Bailey was for the Brickyard a few years ago. And so that's something that goes in the record books. But you know, the guy that wins the pole here today, that just might change his odds downtown when they start the betting.
Absolutely. Dr. Jerry Punch.
You know, it has been a season filled with surprises. Dale Earnhardt's first ever Daytona 500 win after 20 years of trying. And how about last week? Rick Mast's remarkable run at the Rock. Not only did he sit on the pole, as you guys said, but he made up 2 laps on the green after a cut tire. When last week came west, last year to Texas, we crowned a new first-time winner. Who could the man in 1998 be? Could Mast be the guy who goes to victory lane in his 248th career start? He's got a shot, but Bill, there are others.
Boy, there certainly are. You know, Jeremy Mayfield comes to this town holding some pretty good cards. He's 4th in points, was 6th in the morning practice, great runs at Daytona, and also at Rockingham. Now, you know, Las Vegas has served as a launching pad for the career of hundreds of stars. Could Jeremy, the kid from Kentucky, leave here with his name in lights? We'll have to see what the deck holds. But he's not a wild card here. Actually, he's part of a pretty good pair. His teammate, Rusty Wallace, leads the points.
On the racetrack is Kenny Wallace, and as Ned indicated, yes, he will be on the pole at least for a short while. Kenny, of course, started outside pole last week at Rockingham after failing to make the Daytona 500.
There you see the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's a 1.5 mile oval. The front stretch is it's a D-shaped racetrack, so you see the front stretch is longer. And Ned, the banking in the corner, only 12 degrees, 9 degrees on the front straightaway, but that 12 degrees in the corners will probably lead to some problems for these guys getting the right setup.
Well, it might do that, Vinny, and especially in qualifying, but on race day, I think it's going to make for some great racing. The Busch race here last year, I thought was one of the best I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. We've seen several races here, the Busch Series, and also the Indy Racing League has competed here twice, and it has always led to very good competition. So we anticipate the same on Sunday. Kenny Wallace has already taken the green flag and is about to complete his run. They will only run one lap here in qualifying. And so here he is at the checkered flag, and Kenny Wallace is on the pole for the moment. And the time and speed report coming up here. Not a bad effort, 32.597 seconds, a 165.659.
Not bad at all. In the practice that we saw here, Bob, that would have put him in about 10th place or somewhere along there. So that's a good time. That should get him in the top 25 easy enough here today. I don't think that it'll be good enough for the pole.
Well, we will qualify the first 25 positions here this afternoon with one lap, and then tomorrow positions 26 through 36. And really, Benny, there are 7 provisionals up for grabs.
Well, they're going to start 43 cars here. Exactly where that 7th provisional comes from is kind of up in the air. If there is a past champion that is not in the race, he will get that 7th provisional. If all the past champions are in the race, then they will go back to the 1997 point standard.
Well, here's that 21 car on the racetrack right now, driven by Waltrip, as he is in turn number 1 on his qualifying run.
Had a good run at Daytona this year. Finished 6th.
Boy, look, what's this water? Is that water coming out already? Was that water coming out the back of that car?
I don't know. Looked like some kind of fluid, didn't it?
Looks awfully high coming off that corner. Hope he didn't have to squeeze out of the throttle to keep that car off the retaining wall.
Dives low here in the tri-oval to cross the line.
If he did, it will hurt him. And I believe that he has been practicing better than he qualified. 32.855, average speed 164.359 miles per hour. Looked like coming off turn 4 that he got just a little bit high, got in that gray stuff, and probably had to squeeze out of the throttle a little bit to let the car turn off the corner.
I'm sure there's a real critical place between turns 3 and 4 where you get back on the accelerator and so that you can fully accelerate off the turn.
Bill Weber.
With Kenny Wallace.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me, man.
How was your lap? How was your lap? The first one here at the Las Vegas Speedway.
Well, it was a good lap. We were really concerned because we were like 38th quickest, you know, but we've been in top 15, so made it through 1 and 2, sigh of relief. Made it through 3 and 4, and that's always what you're looking for. I want to thank Andy Johnson at my shop. Andy puts the bodies on. I want to thank Squared In. I want to thank all my guys.
Okay, can we invoice you for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks to Ken, Andy, Jake. My boys are working hard.
Enjoy Vegas.
Thank you, man. All right.
Kenny Wallace right now on the pole. Here's our 3rd qualifier of the afternoon, Ricky Craven, who started 32nd at Daytona and 22nd at Rockingham. Las Vegas, 33.025, 163.512.
And I don't believe that'll make it today.
I don't think it will either, Vinny. I think you'll definitely have to be in the 32-second bracket.
50 cars have drawn for a qualifying effort here this afternoon. We'll be back with more of it in just a moment from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Welcome back to Las Vegas, where we're qualifying for the Las Vegas 400, and the car that you missed while we were in break was David Green.
Qualified at 32.847, 164.399. You see currently in 2nd spot. This car failed to qualify for the Daytona 500. I talked to Buzz McCall just seconds after they found out they'd not be in the Daytona 500, and Buzz said, you know, this is a cruel business. He missed the Daytona 500 by 100.
Darrell Waltrip has also qualified. He's taken the checkered flag, and he has turned in a good run, Ned.
Yes, he has. He's 2nd fastest now to Kenny Wallace. 32.755 seconds, 164.860 miles an hour. Good time for DW.
So right now, Kenny Wallace is still the man on the pole position. Here's Jerry Punch.
Well, problems in the Rusty Wallace garage. Just a little bit ago, they decided to come in and change an engine, and they were scrambling all over this Ford Taurus trying to get the Miller Lite machine in line to qualify. And now we are standing by with Rusty Wallace by the car here. Rusty, why the late decision to make a motor change?
Well, the engines everything was going great, and it's still going great right now, but the speeds just weren't where we wanted to be. I looked at my car's straightaway speeds and corner speeds and everything, and the corner speeds were great. Straightaway speeds were off a little bit, but if you look at your last practice session, you notice that the speeds are so close, it's unbelievable. And we feel like there might be 2/10 left in an engine, maybe. We're not for sure. So at the last minute, we all got together and said, hey, if we don't try something, you know, we could qualify pretty bad. So we selected the last minute to go ahead and change engines and put one of Larry Wallace's engine in. And we got a great working relationship with Larry and with our team of engine guys, Jeff Wilson and our people. And this might not do anything, but we want to try it and just try to get qualified a little better.
All right, Rusty Wallace, the story ongoing back in the garage trying to get this car qualified with the engine like his teammate Jeremy Mayfield uses. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
32.84 for David Green. Your thoughts?
That's about what we ran in practice, so I always try to pick up a little bit, but I think these bigger the racetracks are, it's harder to pick up that little bit, but pretty comfortable lap. Got a little loose there in 3 and 4, but tough to do in just one lap here, so all in all, not a bad lap. I don't know where that'll shake out, but have to be satisfied with that at this point.
Okay, we'll see if he makes the top 25. He's currently 4th. Steve Parks on the track.
And we see that Jeff Burton is qualified in the second spot. His speed was 32.619, 165.54. We showed you that earlier. Just wanted to make sure that you understood. Jeff Burton currently in second spot. Here's Steve Park in the Pennzoil Chevrolet. He has been struggling trying to get this car up to speed.
And I guess in the gambling capital of the world, you could almost say that Rusty Wallace is on a bit of a roll of the dice there, changing that engine, huh?
He really is. And we see Steve Park. He picked it up a little bit, 33.024, 163.517. And that is a lot better than he's been practicing.
7 cars have now qualified, and we will talk to Jeff Burton, who right now is the second fastest. When we return to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we're qualifying for Sunday's Las Vegas 400. 8 cars now in the field. Kyle Petty just qualified and did quite well. He came in as second quick to Kenny Wallace, so everybody has taken a shot at Kenny, but so far have not been able to knock him off.
Kyle's time was 32.616, 165.563 miles per hour. Let's go to Jeff Burton with Bill Weber.
And right now, Jeff Burton is with his crew chief, Frank Stoddard. Oh, and he quickly turns around to get on national television.
I got to do it. Sponsor, Exide. There you go.
Well, you deserved it because you ran a pretty good lap.
Man, I'm really happy with that. We, the Exide Ford struggled quite a bit today. We heard Mark last week say that his Rockingham, running well at Rockingham was because of me helping him. Well, me running this good here is because of him helping me. We've struggled a lot, and he had to pull me aside a little while ago. Almost got him in my car to drive it. I was so confused. He just has helped me with this place quite a bit. He beat me in the Busch car over there for the pole. I was pretty mad about that. But
he tested here, too.
Yeah, he did test here. So even if he didn't test, I'd still be leaning on him. He's a pretty smart guy.
Okay, we just got off Backus. Backus put on, just grab the pole.
That's okay. That should put us in the first round, and if we do that, we'll be happy. We picked up almost 2/10 from where we qualified, so we can't be disappointed with that.
Good luck Sunday.
Thank you.
Wow.
How about Jeff Bodine?
Wow. That is much faster than any car has practiced here today. 32.256, 167.411 for Jeff Bodine. And, folks, as I said, no one has been around this speedway in a stock car that fast yet.
And Greg Sachs will be the next to qualify. He will be our 10th qualifier, as Jeff Bodine now holds the provisional pole for Sunday's race. Kenny Wallace second, then Petty, Burton, and Darrell Waltrip the top 5.
I said that this week, yes, since the cars have been here, in testing, someone might have run faster than that, or tire testing, but this week that has been by far the fastest speed by about 1/10 of a second, maybe 1500ths.
It was a great lap.
Greg Sachs qualified 24th at Daytona, started 39th at Rockingham last week. Let's see where he fits into the qualifying order. Well, it's 5th best.
Not bad. 32.716 seconds, 165.057.
When we come back, we will talk to that man right there, Jeff Bodine, who crawls out of his car after putting it on the pole position right now here in Las Vegas. Back to Las Vegas. Gary Bradbury qualified while we were in commercial break. He's the 9th fastest so far at 164.224, a time of 32.882 seconds. Jeff Bodine got the pole position just moments ago, but watch this.
He's coming off turn 4. We're going to slow this down, and show you as he comes off the corner, there's a piece going to come out the back of his car. You see that little piece right there? That's just, I don't know what it is. Now there's another piece that will fly from his car. Watch. See up there? That's a pretty doggone big piece that comes out the back of his car.
Well, Bill, let's talk to him and see if we can find out if he knows what it was.
Are you littering here? What's that stuff flying off your car?
I don't know. I better go check. Maybe I lost the engine or something. Yeah, that was a pretty good lap. Whatever came out, we'll find it, I guess. Maybe a rag or something. But, you know, really a pretty good lap. The best I've run here.
Best anybody's run here. That was a great lap.
Well, I wish I was the last guy to go. I feel really good because I know there's a lot of good cars yet to go. And the guy that won the Bush pole is really fast, Mark Martin. But there's a whole bunch more. That should get us in the race, and we're glad we're a part of this show here in Vegas. The biggest show in town. Richie Klein, he's done a great job putting all this together and all the people that helped him. But we're glad we have Phillips on our cars, the sponsor. Kind of last minute at Daytona, but we had a good run last week for him. Hopefully it'll be a great run this weekend for Phillips people and all the race fans. And, you know, we're glad they're supporting us. And we hope all the race fans across the country help us and support Phillips. They have great products, and that's why they're here in racing. And we want them to stay here. So go buy some Phillips products. They're good.
Okay, go find out what fell off your car and then come back and tell us.
Maybe with that Phillips TV or cell phone. Or
I knew I would set myself up there.
Or all those appliances they make. We have a bunch in the front.
Weber, you are mad, Weber.
Well, Jeff watches his brother Brett come down here, cross the line, and become our 13th qualifier of the afternoon. Let's see where Brett Bodine falls in. Well, 7th best. Not too bad.
Not too bad at all. 32.722 seconds, 165.027. That should definitely get him in the top 25 here today.
So Brett Bodine is cooling down now, as on the racetrack is Chad Little in the 97 car.
Had that great run in Daytona, Bob, and he's been running good here in practice.
It really is shocking he ran so well in Daytona. Went to Rockingham last week. Did not run exceptionally well. Didn't qualify well. He did run pretty good in the race. Did not qualify well, but came here and you expected some of the same. But boy, he is every practice session you've seen. Chad Little has been one of the fastest cars.
As we watch Chad qualify, we'll go down to Bill Weber, who's with a guy with some really hot wheels.
And that's Kyle Petty, 32.616 for you. Good.
Great. Most of the time I lose about 4/10 qualifying. This time I actually picked up 2/10. We'd run about a 79 or 80, so it's incredible. We started off this morning, worked on race stuff yesterday because it was an open day. Started off this morning with a qualified stuff, and we were about the slowest car here. So Bobby and Glenn and these guys made a bunch of changes, and we picked it up.
For the fans that don't know, briefly, this track is smooth, wide, great race place.
Yeah, it's going to be a great racetrack. And, you know, it's just as smooth as can be, plenty wide. If you make a little bobble or make a little mistake, you don't have to worry about it. Just chase it up the racetrack and get back in the gas. A lot of places we run hadn't been that way. This is more like the California, Michigan type speedway. So I think the fans in Vegas that are here at the race are going to see a great inaugural race.
Okay, and keep your eye on Kyle Petty. Here's Jerry Punch.
A lot of drivers seeing this racetrack for the very first time. Bill Elliott is not one of those. He finished second in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series out here a couple of years ago, Bill. You're among the quickest cars in practice. Can you beat a 25?
That's going to be pretty hard to beat. I mean, if McDonald's teams give me a good race car, it's just going to be if you get a good lap or not. That's just about all there is to it.
What's this track remind you? People say it's a small California or a small Michigan or maybe a big Richmond.
I think you could summarize it either way, you know, depending on how you wanted to look at it. To me, it's more like a small Michigan.
All right, good luck to you. Bill Elliott about 3 or 4 cars away from going. He was the fastest car in practice yesterday and 4th fastest in the final session just prior to qualifying.
On the track is Jeff Green. He's over in turn number 4, about to complete his qualifying lap.
Comes off the line. We see the drive down on the apron of the racetrack. Michigan, and we see Jeff Green goes back to the 10th spot. His time was 32.808, 164.594 miles per hour. this racetrack does differ from Michigan and California. At Michigan, California, they step against the wall down the front stretch. But this front stretch has a double dogleg in it, so when they come off the corner, they go straight to the start and finish time. The apron of the racetrack to straighten out the front straightaway, kind of like Charlotte and Texas.
15 cars have qualified, and Jeff Bodine is the fastest of all at 167.411 for the inaugural Las Vegas 400. Martin takes the checkered flag, completes his qualifying run. Not quite as good as maybe we had expected. He had been fast in practice, but he comes in third quick at the moment.
32.477 seconds, 166.272. And you said third, Bob. Ward Burton came in there second fastest while we were way on the break at 166.806 miles an hour. His elapsed time was 32.373.
We have coverage tomorrow and, of course, on Sunday here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Tomorrow, the Samstown 300 for the NASCAR Busch Series Grand National Division at 4 o'clock on ESPN. Mark Martin has the pull for that race. Our happy hour coverage is on the Deuce at 11 o'clock tomorrow night, and then Sunday, NASCAR Today at 2 o'clock Eastern Time here on the Deuce. And then the race itself, the Las Vegas 400, will be live flag to flag coverage at 2:30 Eastern Sunday afternoon over on ABC Sports. On the racetrack is Dick Trickle in car number 90.
Well, he's had a lot of exposure here in Las Vegas. Big write-up yesterday in the paper, justly so, of how popular he has become with fans all over the country. Of course, they did a benefit for his nephew, Chris Trickle, here night before last.
Who was present, by the way, for the fundraising affair that they had here. Whoa, look at this. Fourth fastest for Dick Trickle.
Yeah, great time. 32.587 seconds, 165.710 miles an hour.
But as we said, it is Ward Burton who's second fastest right now. Bill Weber?
Well, there's a magician in this town called Lance Burton, but Ward Burton, a little magic for you on that lap.
My magic is a good race team, great sponsor. All the guys with the team and with MBNA and all worked really hard, and we were struggling a little bit beginning yesterday, but I got a little bit better on the racetrack by some help of Ricky Byers showing me I was going in the corner down there too deep, and Chris and all the guys got the car better for me. That lap was absolutely terrible down there in 1 and 2. It was great in 3 and 4, so I left some on the table down there.
Okay, left a little behind. You don't want to leave anything on the table in Las Vegas, but we'll see how it works out for Ward.
And here's a driver who has cleaned the tables here in Las Vegas a couple of times. 4 times he's come here to race, twice in the trucks, twice in Winston West. He has 1 pole and 2 victories. Kenny Schrader, this track's already been pretty good to you.
Yeah, but I tell you what, it's a whole different deal when the Cup boys come in town. And we're struggling a little bit right now, so we'll just have to go see how fast we make this old Chevrolet run now.
How are the ribs and the sternum?
As long as you don't sneeze or laugh, everything's fine.
Just smile, don't laugh.
Yeah, we're okay.
All right, Kenny Schrader will be going out in 2 more cars, and as you said, he is struggling in about 21st, 22nd spot in practice today.
Well, hopefully that time and speed for Wally Dallenbach will allow him to qualify for his first race this year. He's missed the first 2.
32.747, 164.901. And I tell you what, qualifying this year has been a struggle, and I know those guys right now are about ready to slice their wrists.
I think that should be good enough to get him in, Bob.
Jimmy Spencer next out. His best start this year was at Daytona, a 7th place. Off corner number 4, and there is the rundown so far, 1 through 19. Jeff Bodine on the pole, 167.411.
That reminds you of Atlanta last fall when he ran so much faster than anyone else, 197 miles an hour, and was a couple of miles an hour, or at least over a mile an hour faster than anyone else.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I looked up and saw those speeds. I said, we can show you a pylon in Atlanta and be almost the same thing, except the speed's about 30 miles per hour less.
And that's because of the banking. Both 1.5-mile tracks. Difference in the banks.
Spencer has been fast in practice. Let's see if he... no, he's going to go way down the line to 18th currently. 33.014 at 32.567. But the fourth fastest qualifier is Dick Trickle, and he is with Bill Weber.
32.58, Dick. Pretty good lap.
Well, that's the best lap we run since we're here. You know, I got just a little loose through the middle of 1 and 2, and I pushed up off of 4. So car's pretty close. You know, just trying to drive it. You can overdrive these cars so easy, and maybe I overdrive it because I'm trying so hard for the Heilig Myers team, because I mean, these guys, I mean, the whole team's working so hard for me, and you know, I don't want to leave anything on the table. And that is the best lap we run, and we're hoping to run a 40, but a little bit could have been a little better, could have been a lot worse. So we're going to take it.
This track a little forgiving?
I don't really believe so. A lot of it's in the car, and these guys have prepared me a good car, and you know, we're just hoping we can run down in about 30. But you know, I was kind of hoping at this time. We got a good race car here, and we want to ensure ourselves in the race.
Okay, that's Dick Trickle. And Bob, a lot of guys talking about leaving stuff on the table.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot. Like gambling and that type of thing is on a lot of people's minds, huh?
I don't leave much on the table.
You just take it all, don't you? By the way, Trickle qualified 22nd for tomorrow's Busch race here at Las Vegas. All right, let's see what Bill Elliott can do as he comes down for the checkered flag. And this is our 21st qualifier, so we're nearing the bump mark. And, well, Elliott does very well. Third quick.
And we see 32.389, 166.723 miles per hour. Just about a hundredth of a second slower than Ward Burton. And we talked about the Samstown 300 that we're going to be doing tomorrow. Mark Martin, Joe Nemechek on the front row for that race tomorrow.
And let's hear Joe Nemechek's thoughts on qualifying here for the Winston Cup race.
Well, he is front row, Joe, at least for the Busch race. Joe, you qualified second in the Busch. Can you back it up in the Cup car?
I hope so, but a couple of those guys went pretty fast there. You know, our Bell South car's been running good off the, you know, we ran good right off the truck. Been in the top 12 or 15 the whole time we've been here, so I'm just looking for a good run. We need to get in the top 25. I think we have a pretty good race set up, and hey, it's just great to be out here in Las Vegas.
Indeed. Front row Joe, one of 5 first-time pole sitters in 1997. He won 2 poles. In fact, his teammate Dallenbach already looked like he's solidly in the field.
Ken Schrader is on the racetrack, about halfway around on his lap.
Comes off the turn forward, drifts up next to the wall, and then he'll cut it down to the inside.
But you see the Schrader's hands are just simply not moving. It looks like the setup would be very, very good, but look as he goes down to 19th best.
Wow. 32.912, a 164.074. Disappointing run for Ken Schrader, currently 19 out of the 22. At the moment, Jeff Bodine is on the pole with a speed of 167.411 miles an hour. So far this year, Bobby Labonte and Rick Mast have qualified for the 1999 Bud Shootout at Daytona. We'll be back in just a moment. We're qualifying for Sunday's Las Vegas 400 NASCAR Winston Cup race, and there is Steve Grissom. He's just qualified. Here are the 23 that have qualified so far, and Jeff Bodine leads them right now with a 167.4.
See Jeff Green back in 15th there, 16 through 23. See David Green back in 16th spot, and Steve Grissom in 20th at 163.840. Grissom's time 32.959.
And the man on the racetrack right now is Bobby Labonte, who just took the checkered flag. And let's see. Well, he did pretty good. Yeah, 5th fastest so far for Bobby.
32.580 seconds. 165.746 miles an hour. So good time for the Interstate Batteries Pontiac.
Bill Weber is with Bill Elliott,
who turned in a pretty good lap and now signing a bunch of autographs. That worked out okay for you, huh?
Well, I was better than I was in practice, but I still wasn't good enough. I mean, it's just hard to get everything just perfect. You know, everybody runs so good, and the problem is you just don't want to go out there and screw up. You know, you want to go out there and run as good as you can, but then again, you can't make mistakes either. You got one lap, one chance. You know, when I went out there, and I could go again, and I don't know what I could do that I could make it any better. You know, but I got to hand it. These guys have really put a good car under me here the last several weeks, and if we can just stay up close to the front here for a long time.
we won on the pole, but I mean, we'll take what we got there and continue on, because that's the thing about it. You know, get track position and go on. Because it's a good racetrack to pass on, but it's still tough. The closer you get in front, the better you'll be.
All right, we'll be watching.
Bill Elliott currently third on the list, and here is the guy that has put himself on the front row outside pole for the Busch race tomorrow. Let's see how he clocks in the Winston Cup division as Joe Nemechek takes the checkered flag. There it is.
I'll tell you what, I can't say enough about Bobby Labonte's run. As I watch Nemechek go back and beat Bobby Labonte, good lap for Nemechek, 32.506. 166.123 miles per hour. Every time I walked by that 18 car, their heads were hung down, and every time we saw a sheet, they were back about 35th spot, really struggled, but boom, all of a sudden they found something that put them right up front.
Yep, they're sixth fastest right now, Bobby Labonte is. So 25 have now qualified and will begin the bumping process when we come back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Well, tonight at 7:30 Eastern here on The Deuce, John Kernan has the report on RPM tonight. A look at the Pep Boys IRL test in the West, Patrick Racing preview in the FedEx Championship Series, and, of course, a wrap-up on what happened today here at Las Vegas. And then a double dose. John Kernan goes from TV to radio. Beginning tonight, it's RPM Radio NASCAR Now at 8 o'clock, the debut tonight on ESPN Radio Network. So John Kernan's got his work cut out for him this evening, huh?
Yes, he does. As we see Tony Raines coming in after completing this qualifying run. Raines would qualify in the 21st spot. His time was 32.865. Average speed 164.309. And a car that qualified in 20th spot just a moment ago.
Here are the top 15. Bodine still at the top of the list with Ward Burton second. On down the list, you see that good performance by Bobby Labonte there in 6th position. Brett Bodine 14th. Wally Dallenbach in 15th spot.
And you see Kevin LePage in 20th spot, the 91 car, at 164.359 miles per hour. And we see that 2 cars have been bumped. Steve Park, Ricky Craven, both those cars have been bumped. And right now, Jimmy Spencer is on the bubble. Only 25 cars will qualify today.
And Jeremy Mayfield will be the next to try. Jeremy has qualified well in both races this year. He was the 13th starter at Daytona and started 5th in last weekend's Rockingham race. Checkered flag comes out for Jeremy Mayfield, and the report is not so good here at Las Vegas.
No, 32.877 seconds, 164.249, just good for 22nd at the moment.
Dr. Jerry Punch.
What you're looking at are 3 members of Jeremy Mayfield's crew, Peter Suspenzo, J.D. Hilton, and Jeffrey Baker, who decided to dye their hair blonde and hope to improve their luck. Although Jeremy's had a pretty good beginning, 1998. I said, why blonde, guys? I said, well, you know, when Jacques Villeneuve dyed his hair blonde, he went on to win the Formula One championship. Tommy Kendall a year ago dyed his hair blonde, won 11 in a row en route to the Trans Am title. They're hoping maybe it'll help Mayfield. Now, Mayfield said if he won the race here this weekend, that he would be blonde by the time he got to Atlanta next week. He'll join him.
Hey, Doc, he's been qualifying really good. They dye their hair blonde. He qualifies 22nd. Tell him to dye it back.
Hey, you guys been qualifying good. They tell me you dyed your hair and he has a terrible run. Maybe you ought to go back to black.
You're right. Maybe we need to. But for the race, though, mostly not qualifying.
Oh, it's a race day blonde, right?
Race day blonde. That's it.
All right, okay. That's a ticket, man. It's race day blonde, not qualifying blonde.
I'm sorry.
John Andretti and Richard Petty's STP Pontiac, who's about to complete his qualifying run. This will be our 29th qualifier. 50 will take an attempt here this afternoon. There's the checkered flag. John Andretti will wind up where?
17.
Okay.
32.804 seconds, 164.614.
So Jeff Bodine is still the man at the top of the list. Will he be able to hold on and start from the pole on Sunday? Well, a lot of good drivers have to qualify. Stay with us. We'll be back for more. ESPN Speed World live today at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in front of a great crowd for qualifying. Bud Pole qualifying for Sunday's Las Vegas 400. They're the top 15. They haven't changed in the last few minutes. However, as we switch over to the second 15, you will see a couple of additions, including Bobby Hamilton, who qualified there in 22nd spot.
Yes, he ran 32.857. Average speed, 164.349.
And next to go out onto the racetrack will be Dale Earnhardt. But on the track right now is Lake Speed. And he's started 16th at Daytona, 41st at Rockingham, but has run well in both races this year.
And he was good in practice here this morning, Bob.
There's the checkered flag. How did Lake Speed do here?
Well, 24th. I'm sure he won't be that pleased with his effort. 32.870 seconds. It's 164.284 miles an hour.
So he gets into the top 25, bumping Gary Bradbury out, but he just puts himself barely into the top 25. And now on the bubble is Jeremy Mayfield. And there goes Dale Earnhardt onto the racetrack.
Cars have been bumped so far. Gary Bradbury, Kenny Schrader, Steve Grissom, Kenny Spencer, Steve Hart, and Ricky Craven. We'll see Jeremy Mayfield, the next guy to go.
Well, everywhere you go, they're still talking about Dale Earnhardt's victory at Daytona.
We'll talk about that one for a long time.
I'm sure they will.
But boy, he had a poor qualifying effort. Rockingham all three provisional.
Yep. Started 4th at the Daytona 500. Did take a provisional and started 37th at Rockingham last week. His finishes, of course, the winner at Daytona and 17th at the Rock.
Now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is qualified for tomorrow's race. His son.
Awfully high. Ooh. Hope he didn't have to squeeze out the throttle to avoid that fence. We'll see. Checkered flag in the air.
Well, it's going to make the top 25, but it isn't a real impressive lap.
32.755, 164.860. That will bump Jeremy Mayfield, and now Lake Speed is the car on the bubble.
And Jerry Punch is with Dale Jarrett.
Talk about a who fought his way back from the back of the pack last week at Rockingham. We're talking about Dale Jarrett. And Dale, you fought your way through practice this week, and then in the last session you got in the top 10.
Yeah, we've been decent, just a little bit on the tight side and just kind of working into it. Fast racetrack, but a fun racetrack. Great to be here. But Todd has worked really hard on this car. Same car we ran last week. They worked hard to get it here, and we've made progress with each practice session.
The effort last week had to be an emotional lift for the whole team.
Yeah, it really was. The guys did a terrific job. You know, we were behind pitting on the backstretch from the very beginning. Came through the field pretty good at the first of the race. Really thought that we had the car to beat, but could never get it exactly right after that. But it was still a good finish for us starting that far back. So hopefully we're getting things going here. They've getting a lot of cars built, and hopefully we can have some good finishes to show for that.
Good luck to you, DJ.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Dale Jarrett, he's about half a dozen cars away from going out hoping to get in the top 10. At least he was 9th overall in that final practice session.
And he'll start 23rd in the Busch race tomorrow. So Ernie Irvan now on the track, and this car looks radically different than one we're used to seeing him in, the Skittles car. This is the M&M sponsored Pontiac. And Ernie Irvan has clocked in 12th fastest at 32.664, 165.320. So Lake Speed is bumped.
That's a neat story where a magician took the Skittles Pontiac Wednesday here in Las Vegas and changed it into the M&M's car just this one race.
Okay, Ernie Irvan comes in. 33 have qualified for the 400-mile race here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway Sunday.
Rusty, it's a woodchuck, and he's hurt. Rusty, it's up to you.
Marcus is qualified. Here's a look at the top 15, and on the top of the list is Jeff Bodine, and all the way at the bottom of the list, 15th fastest is Brett Bodine, and in the middle, people like Ernie Irvan and others. Now 16 through 30 being led by Wally Dallenbach, and of course the cutoff right now is at 25, so Tony Raines is on the bubble.
Also, there's The last car that qualified was Dave Marcus in the Real Tree Chevrolet, and we see Dave back in 34th at 161.561 miles per hour.
And on the racetrack is Jerry Nadeau. He just took the green flag.
And Jerry Nadeau in the First Plus Financial car brushed the wall this morning, and probably has not got the car back up to speed. 34th best, 33.209, 162.607. As you see, that is good for 34th.
Jerry right now is second in the point standings as far as NASCAR Winston Cup rookies are concerned. Kenny Irwin is on top with 22 points. Jerry 2 below that. Steve Park 4 below 22, and Kevin LePage is 4th in the run for the Winston Cup Rookie of the Year, which should be a really good battle this year.
Right now, Nadeau and Park are in jeopardy of not making this show unless they can find some speed for tomorrow's qualifying session.
And on the racetrack is Terry Labonte, who started outside of row number 1 for the Daytona 500.
See, why wouldn't I say some other rookies? Because those two drivers, those two rookies are in brand new teams, not able to pursue any provisionals used on 1997 point standings. And Kenny Irwin is driving for Robert Yates, able to, if we're to have a bad qualifying run, able to use a provisional.
Terry Labonte, who started 21st at Rockingham last week. Let's see. Well, he ends up 19th best right now out of the 36 that have taken the time.
And we see his time at 32.758, 164.845. So Tony Raines has been bumped, and on the bubble right now is Bobby Hamilton in the Kodak car.
And Jerry Punch is with a guy who's been smiling all weekend, been running well, Doc.
Indeed, Bob. When they shut off practice, this guy was atop the speed charts. Rick Mass, last week's pole sitter. Can you beat a 32.25, Rick?
Boy, he put up a speed, didn't he? We thought we were pretty good. The 7 car ran that. I don't know. This car's been awfully good. My Remington Bullet, you know what I mean? Remington's got a new gun this year, a 597 22 rifle. So we put 597 on the hood at Rockingham. So I said, guys, we're going to leave that on there until our luck gets bad. You know what I mean? So maybe it'll carry us through today. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Me and Benson and I thought we might have had a shot at it each, but me and him both decided a while ago. Well, he decided he didn't think he could do it, but I'm going to try.
You got a good record at inaugural tracks. You sort of whipped them in Indianapolis the first time you were there.
Well, you know what? I wish we went to a new track every week. I don't know what causes that. We all go to these places with a clean sheet of paper. Nobody's been here, no records to go back to or any of that. And you just kind of throw stuff at it, and, whoever lucks up right off the truck is kind of who does well. So, so far, we're doing all right.
Good luck to you in qualifying. All right. Rick Mast and Johnny Benson will be going out nose to tail. Ricky Rudd posted a pretty good number, a top 15, right, guys?
Yeah, 13th fast, as a matter of fact, 32.688, a 165.198. So this is going to be his best start of 1998.
And that bumped the car number 4 of Bobby Hamilton from the top 25.
Now on the bubble is Kevin LePage with a 32.855, and the guy who's trying to get into the top 25 is Derek Cope. Derek qualified 11th at Daytona and 35th at Rockingham. Jerry?
We opened the show telling you Rusty Wallace's troops were making a very rapid engine change. If this completed the engine change, he was scheduled to go out about 6 or 7 cars ago, and they thought they were going to let him go last, but once the engine was changed, they rushed him through inspection, and now Rusty's been told to climb in the car. They're going to roll him to the front of the line, and he is going to qualify next. And with Elvis on the hood, they're going to try to go out and see if possibly the engine change did make a difference. Right now, Rusty's asking for some cleaning of the windshield inside, trying to get him buckled in. A NASCAR will probably roll him off next.
Derek Cope, good qualifying run, 6, 32.527, 166.016.
Very good run for Derek Cope. There's Elvis on the hood of Rusty's car.
Fred Wagonall's with Action Performance that does the collectibles and what have you. They have a collectible car with that now. He said on one of the shopping networks last night, they sold 1.2 million of those diecast Force and Rusty Wallace.
Wow.
Not that many cars, but in dollars, $1.2 million range.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Ted Musgrave is on the track. Started 11th at Rockingham last Sunday, and the green flag flies for Ted Musgrave.
Michael Walker now on the hot seat.
You know, quite a while ago, Kyle Petty was talking about how smooth this track is. Does that mean that maybe these drivers have difficulty in getting a real feel for the track, Benny?
You know, I talked to some drivers down, and that was one of the problems. They said that they got no feedback in the car from this racetrack because the transitions are so good off the corner. The racetrack is so smooth, they don't have to really tug on the steering wheel, or they don't have to bounce up and down against the seat. It is difficult getting feedback through the steering wheel or your rear end to tell the guys what to do to the car.
And we see when the guys come off turn number 4, we get a real close shot. You can see, and you've mentioned it, they just don't move their hands. They just guide it along.
They're just sitting there. Musgrave, 17, 32, 719, 165.042. So Michael Waltrip has been bumped.
And David Green now goes on the bubble.
All right. Well, a few minutes ago, Rick Mast talked about Johnny Benson. Let's talk with him, Doc.
Well, after yesterday's full day of practice, Johnny Benson was third. After this afternoon's practice, before qualifying, he was second. And, JB, there's only one place to go. That's the number 1. Can you do it?
Man, after what Jeff O'Dide ran, I'm not even sure. I tried to talk Rick into just, left not just a little bit because he already got his pole. But, no, we're extremely excited how the Cheerios horse is running. And where we end up is where we end up. All we're worried about is getting in the race, but I think we got a shot at it, though.
All right, Johnny Benson about to go. He will be in the top 5 if the speeds hold up from practice. They are awfully confident they got a shot at least at the front 2 rows and maybe the front row.
We'll know in a few minutes. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett is next out to try. David Green is on the bubble with a 164.399. And let's see how Dale Jarrett clocked in.
Wait a minute.
Whoa! Wow! How about that?
Look at that. 32.100, 168.224. He said, Jeff Bodine, take that in your face.
And the crowd goes wild here in Las Vegas, and a good crowd is on hand for this first qualifying session. Dale Jarrett has put his Taurus on the pole for Sunday's race, and when we come back, we'll talk with him from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Bud Pole qualifying for the Las Vegas 400 Sunday here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and for the first time in a long time, we have a new name up at the top of the list. Dale Jarrett just put his 88 on the pole with a 168.224.
See, Robert Presley just qualified at 32.699. Average speed 165.143, good enough for 16. So you see the guys that's been bumped, Jeff Green, David Green, and there all these fellas got to come back and pick up the speed for tomorrow.
And Rusty Wallace is on the racetrack. Here's the checkered flag, and Rusty completes the run. Remember, they have just put a new engine in this car. How did he do? Well, 8th fastest, not bad.
Not bad at all. 32.530 seconds, 166.001 miles an hour.
Down to Bill Weber.
Well, welcome to Las Vegas. That's some pretty good luck and a lot of hard work right there.
Yeah, a combination. Yeah, the guys did a terrific job. We made a gear change before we qualified, and that's what's so great about these guys. They get together and talk about what they want to do. They told me they had my best set of tires yet to come, and they were exactly right. And what the guys do with the engine when we go get ready to qualify makes my job a whole lot easier.
So it was tires, gearing, and the engine?
Yeah, absolutely, and this crew. They did a great job. Yeah, shit takes a combination. I heard Bill Elliott talking earlier and telling you that you got to have everything to go run a fast lap, and it had everything. We'd been pushing for the most of the part since we've been here, especially through turns 3 and 4, and we got it freed up that time. It was an exciting ride, but a lot of fun.
Okay, well, last night you saw the impersonator, Danny Gans, and today you hope to be impersonating the pole sitter.
Yeah, I'd like to impersonate a pole sitter. This would be pretty incredible here, but Danny Gans, I saw that last night. That is an amazing act. If anybody's coming to Las Vegas, it's worth a trip just to come here and see that if you can get a ticket. It was an incredible show, and I'm a big fan of his now.
Okay, if you can get a ticket to this race, you might see Dale Jarrett lead him to the green flag. Just a few guys left.
Right now on the provisional pole, Larry Gunselman just qualified, one of the only Winston West driver trying to get into the field. He's 43rd quick, however, the slowest at 157.320. There was another Winston West driver, Butch Gilliland, here, but he withdrew.
Yeah, Butch had a T-bird and said he did with the 4 and 3. Look at the dust or whatever's coming out of the back of the car. whatever 4 3/4 inch, whatever rear spoiler they have on the T-Birds, he felt like it just would not be competitive and decided to go on home.
Well, here's a guy who
is wiggling coming down to the flag.
Yeah, he is. This is Kenny Irwin in the Texaco Haviland Ford Taurus.
Kenny was struggling a little bit as far as speed was concerned in the practice runs, or at least those that I saw. They have a printout after each practice run as to who did what.
That car sound okay to you?
I couldn't hear it. Yeah, we're up in the booth, and
half a dozen cars will be left to settle out who will start at the top.
carrying up the hill quite a bit. But he comes back down. Pretty good line off that corner.
Got it over there pretty good. I don't believe he's going to get in the top 25, though. Right off the board, didn't he?
Well, all the way off the board to 33rd. 32.868 seconds, 164.294. So far, there have been 3 drivers who have failed to qualify for both races. Todd Bodine, Gary Bradbury, and Wally Dallenbach. Now, Dallenbach is in good shape at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 22nd right now.
Todd Bodine is waiting for his turn, Jerry.
This guy didn't have any bad luck. He wouldn't have any at all. That something, an accident in Daytona in the qualifier. Todd, last week he found something on Saturday, but it was too little too late. You guys have worked so hard. Do you have something for him today? Do you have a shot?
Well, I tell you, it's unfortunate we're struggling again today. You know, this is a brand new car. It's a little different body than what we're used to, and we're struggling to find the right combination. For qualifying here, in fact, we changed 3 springs, a rear track bar, and a sway bar. So we're rolling the dice. You know, this Tabasco Pontiac looks great. Got a new paint scheme. Introducing our green pepper sauce out. You know, we got a lot of confidence in this team. We got a long ways to go and a long ways to grow, and we got a good future. We just got to get through these growing pains.
All right, Todd Bodine waiting to run. Meanwhile, Rick Mast has just run, guys.
And we wondered if he was going to be able to sit on the pole. He is not. He's 5th quick.
At 32.415, 166.590, and I think that's about what Rick Mast practiced at.
That's the area that he was in. I believe he got down to 33 the last time, Denny. But one thing that I noticed difference in his lap and Dale Jarrett's. When he went through turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, Jarrett has his car right down on the bottom line. Rick was up about 6 or 8, 10 feet. And don't know if that made a difference or not, but there was a difference in their lines.
I've been wondering what all that will look like, smoke or dust. It's tire smoke going against the fenders. As the guys are wiggling the cars back and forth, they're running the car with air pressure that's probably so low that when they swing back and forth, that the tires are rubbing the fenders.
Now, here's another car that was very fast in practice. You heard Rick Mast say that he and Benson were talking about whether they could beat Jeff Bodine or not.
Well, you talk about getting down that white line, Ned. He was long ways from that white line down the corner.
Whether they got in there too fast and he carried him up higher than he wanted to be, don't know. But this racetrack does allow for racing in higher grooves, and you'll see that on Sunday here.
On the bubble is Darrell Waltrip at 164.860. 24th is Dale Earnhardt. Can Johnny Benson get into the top 25? And, of course, we've got Jeff Gordon to qualify yet. And Benson is 14th fastest.
32, 619, 165, 548. And right now, Dale Earnhardt, the Goodrich Chevrolet, is a car on the bubble.
Jerry Punch is with Jeff Gordon, who'll be out shortly.
Well, the defending Winston Cup champion puts the gloves on, has the helmet on. Jeff, some awfully good times that may be tough to beat. Do you have a shot at it?
I don't think we got a shot for the pole, but, you know, I don't know what's left in this thing. We had a pretty good lap earlier in practice, and we'll just try to get a good, solid lap here again. But if I could run what I ran in practice or maybe a little bit better, I'll be real happy.
All right, he is known for being able to get a little bit more out of the race car when it comes to qualifying. He plants his foot in it, driving his favorite car named Blacker.
Jeff will be out in just a few moments. His car moves forward in the qualifying line. The current pole sitter is Dale Jarrett.
Hey,
looks like
he's got good my car.
Sideburns there this week, perhaps in tribute to Elvis the King, who performed in this city so many times. Hut Strickland is next to go out, and he's looking for a top 25 and to knock Dale Earnhardt down in the bottom half of the field. did not make the Daytona 500, started 10th at Rockingham last Sunday.
Well, you can see there's a 6500, about not quite 2/3 of a second between first and 25th. And I don't believe Hutt's going to get in there.
Nope, he's going to go all the way back to 40th fastest.
32.922, and I'm amazed how fast. I thought a 32.90 might make it in the top 25. It was 40th today, 164.024.
We've just got 3 more cars to qualify now. The Tabasco car, Todd Bodine, is looking for a hot lap to go along with that hot pepper sauce this car advertises. He has not made a race so far this year, failed to qualify for both Daytona and Rockingham. So let's hope the luck is with Todd Bodine here at Las Vegas as he puts this 35 car in the show. Here's the green flag.
He has really been struggling trying to get that car up to speed here at Las Vegas.
You see, he's about 6-8 feet above that white line.
He's a 164.860 to bump into the top 25. There you see the top 20 with Jarrett and Jeff Bodine, Ward Burton, Bill Elliott, and Rick Mast occupying the top 5 positions for Sunday's race. That will be live on ABC at 2:30 in the afternoon. Bodine comes down, takes the checkered flag.
He needs over 164 miles per hour to be in the show at all, not only today, but you see, 45th best, still continuing to struggle. 33.040, 163.438, and those guys got to be really stressed by now.
That is a tough situation. Well, here's kind of an ironical thing. Here's Jeff Gordon on the racetrack with Dale Earnhardt on the bubble.
Probably be a better story if the next car were qualifying. That's Mike Skinner, Earnhardt's teammate.
They can knock his teammate out of the top 25.
Exactly. Here comes Gordon down, and we see the tape in the windshield, so the sun must be a problem going off turn 4 as they come down to the flag limit. A lot of tape on the windshield of these cars, and that will be about this time when the race will be ending in the afternoon.
Las Vegas Motor Speedway is located about, what, 8-10 miles north of downtown Las Vegas.
I'm sorry, this race will be over a couple hours ago.
Yeah, it starts at 11:30 out here on the west, in the Western time zone, Pacific time zone. And Jeff Gordon, here he is, completing the lap.
Good lap.
Is it good enough for the pole?
Let's see.
No. Well, it's fifth fastest, I'm sorry. Fifth fastest for Jeff Gordon.
32.412, 166.605, and he will bump Earnhardt out of the top 25 and put Wally Dallenbach on the bubble.
And we only have one more qualifier to go, and that is Mike Skinner, as Dale Jarrett waits nervously to know whether or not he's going to be the pole sitter.
Brad Parrott on the left, brother to Todd Parrott, the crew chief on the quality care forward.
Here's a guy who seems to always do well in qualifying. It's Mike Skinner. He started 8th at Daytona and 18th at Rockingham. The Lowe's Chevy takes the green flag, and here we go with our final qualifier, Jerry Punch.
Just a moment ago, that's Mike Skinner. Give me a prediction on what he can run. It said, Doc, we ran a 54 in practice. I think I can run possibly a 50, maybe even better in qualifying. We should get us solidly to the top 25.
Oh, he brushed the wall coming out at 2, Doc.
He's letting it hang out.
Oh, he sure is.
Sorry about that, Jerry, but about the time you were in your statement, boom, he just almost slapped that wall off turn 2. If he didn't slap the wall, he almost did.
He kicked up some dust that's right up there against the wall. Here's the checkered flag. The qualification session is over, and Mike Skinner did not do well.
Off the board. 31st fastest. 32.830 seconds, 164.484 miles an hour.
I would imagine he squeezed out the accelerator just a little bit over in turn 2 to keep the car out of the wall.
Dale Jarrett has won the pole for Sunday's Las Vegas 400. Wally Dallenbach ended up as the 25th fastest, and the last car guaranteed a top 25 starting position. Let's take a look again at what happened to Mike Skinner.
Well, he comes off of that corner and gets up in the loose stuff just a little bit. I don't believe he hit it, Benny.
I don't think he touched it, because I think if he had touched it, we'd be black mark on the white wall.
Yeah, but you can see that dust flying up there. He had his right wheels up there where he was not getting the traction that he needed.
Right, in no man's land. Bill?
Well, you don't have to do your impression of the pole sitter anymore, because Dale Jarrett, you are the pole sitter here in Las Vegas.
Thanks. It's incredible. Just incredible. I mean, to come here and sit on the pole, it's fantastic. It's a great racetrack, great city, and I've got a great race car and a great team.
And you're 20th in points. How did that happen? This will turn that around, won't it?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we ran good at Daytona. Just I made a mistake on pit road and cost us a lot, and then we just couldn't quite get everything together last Sunday, but we had a decent finish, and now we get to start from the pole, so maybe we can make up the ground.
Wide track, very fast, big advantage to starting up there here?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of racing, and this is a great racetrack. I ran the Busch race here and going to run again tomorrow and get some more experience, but should be a great show for the fans. They did a terrific job in building this racetrack for the drivers, and the crews, and for the fans, because it's going to be a great show. This could possibly be the best race that Winston Cup has ever seen.
Wow, and did you even talk to Todd Parrott after your lap, or just now, just a minute ago?
Talked to him on the radio coming in. He knows how much I think of him and what a great job he does. Just incredible the things he does with these race cars for me.
And in the truck, they're concerned, are those some Elvis-type sideburns here, Dale?
I don't yet. Well, coming to Vegas, you know you had to do it. Rusty got the car, the Elvis car. I'd love to have had that. That's pretty cool, but it's a great place. This is fun.
Well, you got the rest of the field all shook up. How's that?
Got them all shook up, yeah, I'm sure. They're scared to death. I'm all shook up. I can't believe we did this.
His 6th career pole position to Dale Jarrett for Sunday's Las Vegas 400. Jeff Bodine ended up as the 2nd quickest. Well, we have a lot of post-qualifying interviews and information to give to you. Come back when we return to ESPN Speed World. Motor Speedway, and here are the results of our Bud pole qualifying. Dale Jarrett is on the pole, Jeff Bodine 2nd. Take a look at the rest of the top 25 and how they fared here this afternoon.
See Rusty Wallace with his new engine back in 10th spot. Dick Trickle, the crowd favorite here in Vegas, will start 12th.
And you see those 16th through 25th. Now Dollenbach is in the show. Made his first race of 1998.
And Dale Earnhardt just barely out of the top 25. There in 26th, Darrell Waltrip in 27th. Now here is 31 through 45. And these guys have got some real decisions to make.
Yeah, especially when we get back to about 34th on back. Michael Waltrip, Bobby Hamilton, Tony Raines. No point provisionals to fall back on. He's 36th. He needs to pick up some speed, because some of these guys back there will pick up some speed. Kenny Schrader, Craven are not in the show. And Todd Bodine, Jerry Nadeau really struggling trying to find the speed.
As you can see, the Busch cars have gone on to the racetrack. The winners of the first 2 races this year in NASCAR Winston Cup competition, well, they have come from the 4th starting position.
Let's see who started 4th.
Let's see if that's Bill Elliott. How about that, Jerry? Did you know that?
Well, I do now, Bob, and we're going to tell Bill that we just showed the folks at home that the winners of the first 2 events in 1998 have both come from 4th starting spot. You start 4th on Sunday. Can you make it 3 in a row?
Well, it's a race I'd really like to win, looking at, coming here for the first time and a lot of things. But, it's going to take a lot of things. I feel like our guys have really put together a good effort this season. I think, from the most part, we've been the most consistent. We've made good decisions. I mean, that can go against the Sunday, but for the most part, I kind of understand this racetrack from being here in the truck 2 times and bringing my car here last fall. So, at least for us, I feel like we're a little bit better off than some of the guys, but still, it's, just like Gordon last week. He was among some of the worst cars and comes back and wins the race. And that's what we've got to be able to do, is respond to all the changes that we're trying to do.
This qualifying effort, is this what we seeing the fruits of your labors of coming out here and running the truck race and having laps on the racetrack and learning the track? Is that what really helped you a lot in today?
I think it was right off the bat. I think, I didn't have to go out and learn the racetrack and then learn where I need to be on the racetrack. I had an understanding of where I need to run, what groove, so on and so forth. And then I just needed to work on the race car to make it run around where I wanted it to go. And, still we were off some compared to Dale Jarrett and Jeff, but, I still feel like we've made great gains from last year. the Taurus has given us new hope as far as we're concerned. You know, we'll continue to refine that car, but it's for us, I mean, we're a good race team, and I think right now we can show it.
All right, Bill Elliott will start fourth on Sunday as we check in with Bill Weber, who's caught up with Mike Skinner.
Wow, well, you didn't touch anything, but I don't think you can get any closer, can you?
I'll tell you what, we had such a great race car all day. We worked on the race setup all day yesterday. Did a real conservative run today, was 8th in practice. Really thought we could squeeze a little bit more out of it. I sat out there on the line, I seen all that shade over there in 1 and 2, and I said, you know, we haven't pushed over there. I can push it just a little bit more right there and be all right, and the car just flat out took off. And you know, I said, well, you know, maybe we won't run out of racetrack. And about the time I seen that we were going to run out of racetrack, I had to make a decision and keep the fenders on the thing, and we get another chance tomorrow. And we got a real good race car here, so I'm not going to worry too much about qualifying right now.
But you didn't touch the wall. You just went up to make sure it was there, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to get the dust all raised up and, you know, get on television so I could say how great Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse and Chevrolet and this team and how hard everybody has worked. And I don't know if the driver messed up a little bit or we messed up a little bit with the setup for the situation down there, but the thing went through 3 and 4 perfect. And, you know, we just missed it a little bit. So we'll come back tomorrow and try it again, and maybe we'll be 26th.
Okay, and all those Lowe's folks will be watching then too, okay?
Great.
Mike Skinner. Well, let's again remind you of our weekend coverage from here in Las Vegas. Tomorrow, it's the Sam's Town 300 Busch Series Grand National Race at 4 o'clock Eastern Time over on ESPN. The Deuce has happy hour at 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Sunday, it's NASCAR today at 2 o'clock Eastern Time here on the Deuce. And don't forget the actual live flag-to-flag coverage of the Las Vegas 400. The inaugural race here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway is Sunday afternoon at 2:30 Eastern Time on ABC. Well, we have some Busch cars that are out for their happy hour prior to tomorrow's race. Dale Earnhardt Jr. there in the 3, along with Mark Martin, who's a pole sitter.
And Jeff Burton down on the inside in the car number 9. I saw Mark just make a great move coming off this turn 2, just a moment ago, pulled up on the outside of Burton, but then he wasn't able to clear him as they were chasing Dale Earnhardt Jr. around there. Now Burton has to back off going into that turn, but they ran that full lap side by side.
Ned, I'm sure that in the race tomorrow and on Sunday, we'll have a lot of fans that have never seen a NASCAR type race, a Busch Series or a Winston Cup race. And I think the first thing that those fans that have not seen racing will be impressed by is speed. Because I don't think that they realize just how fast that 170, 80 miles an hour is. And when they go down next to that fence and those cars go by at 170, 80 miles per hour, they're going to say, wow, these guys really go fast.
And I think they'll also be impressed with what we're seeing right there, some side-by-side racing. If the last year's Busch race is any indication, it's some of the best races that I've seen in a long, long time.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. will start 8th tomorrow. Mark Martin has the pole, and Jeff Burton, the number 9 car, will start in 3rd position. Buckshot Jones 4th. Hermie Sadler is 5th. The remainder of the top 10, Joe Bessie, Jimmy Spencer, Earnhardt, McLaughlin, and Mark Green came in as the 10th fastest qualifier. Only 1 round of qualifying for the Busch cars for tomorrow's 300-miler.
And we'll tell you the cars that did not make the field: Ron Barfield, Chris Diamond, Lyndon Amick, Bobby Hillen Jr., Hank Barber Jr., Brendan Gaughan, a local driver, Rick Fuller, and Dale Fishline. Those cars did not qualify. As we see Mark Krogh in the 80 car and Glenn Allen in the 99 car.
Mark Krogh will start 11th tomorrow. And the number 99 car, Glenn Allen, will start from 25th position. We'll be back to wrap up what happened here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway earlier today in Bud pole qualifying for the Las Vegas 400. Speed World coverage of qualifying for the Las Vegas 400 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway being brought to you by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. With Busch practice continuing. We remind you again that Dale Jarrett has won the pole position for Sunday's Winston Cup race.
And there we see him in his automobile. Is that here or Michael Walter? Oh, that's Michael
Walter. Dale Jarrett's behind him a little bit.
That's the Band-Aid car. I'm sorry.
Take a look at the top 25 for the Busch race tomorrow. We gave you the top 10 a little bit earlier. Mark and Jeff Krogh will start 11th and 12th. Michael Waltrip, 13th.
Back in 15th spot, the winner last week, Matt Kenseth. A great job.
Yeah, it must have been some race between him and Tony Stewart. Huh?
Oh, it was terrific.
Exciting, that last lap. There's the balance of the top 25.
See, that's in the 40 car is Kevin LePage, and we see Mike Dillon. Dale Jarrett back in 23rd. Tony Stewart will start 24th. That's been his poorest qualifying run of 1998, I believe.
And he was leading the race on the white flag lap at Rockingham last week and got passed by Matt Kenseth coming off at turn 4.
The 50 car driven by Jimmy Foster
and Dale Shaw.
Meanwhile, Bill Weber has caught up with Derek Cope.
And an impressive qualifying lap. You'll start 9th, and I don't think on those practice sheets you were that fast, were you?
No, we weren't. You know, we struggled yesterday quite a bit, but, you know, I got to give it to these guys. They put on a stellar effort today from the whole Gummout crew because they worked hard this morning, gave me a combination that I needed to get around the racetrack, and, you know, we just kept kind of staying quiet and just kind of kept working, and, you know, I think we were around 12th or 15th, something like that last deal, and I knew if I could stuff her in there, we'd get a shot at them, and great effort today. We were tickled.
So you drove it a little harder, or you made some changes, or a combination of both?
Yeah, we made a few small changes, and then I knew that on the sticker tires, the car really likes tape, you know, I knew we lost downforce with this new rule, so when we put tape on this thing, we taped it up even a little more, and it really turned the nose good, and I hustled it, and, you know, I got her chatter in the right front a little bit because I really put the wheel to it, but, you know, we were tickled. You know, we have all the Sarah Lee folks here, you know, and, you know, it's an exciting day for us, so hopefully, you know, we'll get a good run going here Sunday for Degree and Suave and all the guys.
Good luck.
Thanks.
9th fastest today in first round, Derek Cope in the Gummout number 30.
See Jimmy Spencer in the 12 car and Mike Cope in the 30. Spencer had a pretty good qualifying run. He'll start 7th. Mike Cope's back in 19th. And Spencer closes her up right on the back bumper of Mike McLaughlin.
He sure does. He really closed up quickly.
That 34 car, the Gould's car, was the pole sitter for Daytona, the 300-mile race, the Napa Auto Parts 300.
Well, let's take a look at tomorrow as we go down to Bill Weber.
Well, a lot of guys have a big mountain to climb here in the desert on Saturday. The Busch race, 300 miles. Now, we went to Rockingham last week. NASCAR Winston Cup drivers had dominated that Busch race. But last Saturday afternoon in Victory Lane, a relative unknown, young Matt Kenseth, took his car and his team to Victory Lane at the Rock. Winston Cup experience at the front, youthful enthusiasm from the Busch Series in the middle of the pack, and Lady Luck in Las Vegas. And then after that, Winston Cup happy hour, a full deck here in Vegas on Saturday. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
And then come 2:30 Eastern time on Sunday afternoon on ABC Sports, we'll have live flag-to-flag coverage of the inaugural Las Vegas 400. 43 cars will take the green flag as America's fastest racers will perform in front of 107,000 of America's highest rollers. Winston Cup action live on ABC at 2:30 Eastern.
Tomorrow it's the Sands Town 300 at 4 o'clock over on ESPN. Happy hour on the Deuce at 11. Sunday, NASCAR today at 2 o'clock Eastern on the Deuce. ABC flag-to-flag coverage live of the Las Vegas 400s at 2:30 Sunday afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see you on Sunday from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.